Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Leadership Speak series of L Forum. Today, I have the pleasure of inviting someone who was with us in the first season, Bhavna Juneja, a serial entrepreneur and a member of the board of many other companies. And she's also CEO of a very large technology services company here in the United States. Very, very illustrious background, so I'd rather let her tell you more about her background as a leader. Welcome to the show, Bhavna.
Thank you so much, Ringo. It's always a pleasure. I'm so happy to be back again.
Thank you, Bhavna. It's a joy to have you back on the show. And in fact, today's topic is so relevant. I've been wanting to get you on the show for a while, just that our timings have not matched, but I'm glad we're here finally. And so, for the benefit of some of them who might not have seen you in the first season, would love to hear your journey as a leader. Please.
Absolutely. So thank you so much again for having me over. My journey actually started very young. I was 17 years old, where my mom sent me door to door to do sales, just so that we could support her. She was a single mom in an Indian society. So you can well imagine at that time, it was very difficult, for her to raise 3 daughters. But I was always the shy one, always, kind of hiding behind her. And her idea to send me door to door was so that I could open up, I could speak to more people, and I can understand what rejection means. So anytime I used to get rejected where people didn't want to buy, she used to let me come home, and she used to send me to the same house back again. And I used to get very angry. But now, at a later stage in my life, I realized, my God, that builds so much of confidence in me that now I just say, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to say no, and I'm going to move on. I'm just going to shove it off and move on. So my journey started very young. At the age of 17, I started working. At the age of 18, I owned my own company where I was earning 3 lakhs a month. Being an 18-year-old in the home textile industry, I was representing a customer that is the main supplier to Walmart in the United States. That is where my entrepreneurial journey started. Then, of course, like any Indian girl, got married at the age of 21 and came to the US. And I saw that every second rich person's wife was either an interior designer or a fashion designer, where, that was like a big roadblock for me. Obviously, I couldn't find a job. So I found a job in a startup IT firm where I was given a job as a front desk receptionist. And because I was so strong in sales, being that the couple of years that I had done my own work, I just said that, give me an opportunity that let me do sales sitting on your front desk. And I cracked my first deal with Caterpillar. And in 2 years, I bought the company out, built the company from $2 to $10 million, which was an IT services business process re-engineering company. From there on, went into another startup, which was into supply chain management and Oracle. And 10 years back, I incorporated a company called Infinity, Stamford Technology Solutions, where the core focus is on infrastructure and healthcare. And there's very minimal competition in the US for this kind of industry because we specialize in enterprise quality management solutions. But over the years, I always wanted to kind of, come back to India and start some journey where women are not too much on the map in leadership. That has been my constant struggle to see more women in leadership. And I'm a big women promoter. My company is a women-owned company. 46% of my staff is women, which I take a lot of pride in. And it's not that, I'm against to other gender, but it's just that, because there are certain difficulties that women face. You're a mother, you're a wife, there's so many, parameters that you have to manage. That I came into India and I diversified into the real estate industry, where we haven't really seen many women, in leadership roles as a CEO, going into asset management and real estate. And I kid you not, I feel that I conquered that line. Building relationships, going out in the market where in a room there were 10 men and just me. But just the confidence and the journey that I've had in my, younger years up till now has given me I would say the confidence, the ability, to face people and not be shy of something that I don't know, but also, do express of the expertise that I bring on the table. So my background has been into recruitment, staffing, My company is incorporated in the US with global offices in Canada, in Poland, UK, India, and Dubai now. And I'm very proud to say that during COVID, there were a lot of people that lost their jobs. One of the mission that I personally took over, that we opened an office in a tier 2 city, where we decided that we are going to be local jobs so that the people do not have to go to metro cities and they are able to get employment. We tied up with colleges, where we are bringing young kids and training them in the field of IT. So the idea of my journey has always been about, yes, it's great to grow in business, but at the same time, what am I doing to make sure that I give back to the community? So I'm very proud to say that it's not only about, business, but it's also about, giving back, how you can make sure that you empower people, of their ability. So just a little
No,
background of mine in a
it's
nutshell.
so impressive, Bhavna, and I've always remained impressed with your journey and very inspirational. And I personally believe that doing something different has always generated better results. And all power to you, and many more successes to you. So, and
Thank you.
I guess today's topic will be very close to your heart because topic is how do you use empowerment as a competitive advantage in your organization, right? And I think your story probably is you're an example of empowerment yourself. I think at some level. So my question to you is, what is your definition of empowerment?
So when we say empowerment, the word power is already instilled in that empowerment. So I think the word speaks for itself, but I just feel that, in an organization, especially in mine and the multiple businesses that I own, whether it's the top of the chain or the bottom of the chain, considering their role, you have to empower them. You have to give them the vicinity to explore their talent. And that is one thing that has really worked as a success mantra for my journey, wherein that I look at the person, I give them the ability to explore, I give them the ability to make mistakes, because I always feel that unless you're going to fall, you're not going to enjoy getting up. So to me, empowerment is that let the person explore themselves. And if you've given them a platform in your organization, you have to take certain things with a pinch of salt. To me, empowerment is truly about exploring the good, bad, ugly, and pick out the good, like Jack Welch policy was, that get everybody's ideas, but pick out whatever the best is. And then you groom the person, to get good. And that to me is empowerment in all of the businesses that I own.
And excellent. That's very beautifully put. And I think it's important to involve everyone and involve and get what is the best out of them. It's very true. So, can you give me an anecdotal example in your journey where you have used empowerment as a competitive advantage in your organization and you saw the benefits of that, basically?
So, like I previously said, exploring people's talent, their vision, and how it coincides with your vision, that has always been an advantage. Especially, I'll give you a scenario, especially when I interview people, for certain roles in my organization, and my company is role dependent, not person dependent. I always tell them that you need to understand what role you have to deliver, but you have to also understand that there is a reason why you are being valued for this particular role. So unless there is value that one brings on the table, you cannot get a competitive advantage. It's a very simple rule. You have 5 fingers, but when you close it, it becomes a fist. And that's the biggest strength and biggest advantage, that you can have as a workforce, especially in the services business that I am in, that people need to understand that it's not about that, the leader is always right. You got to lead with the people. I don't believe in followers. I believe in creating leaders. And that can only happen if you give them that ability to explore, to understand their vision, your company's vision, and use that to the advantage of the company's growth. So it's like they run on parallel tracks.
Okay. So, any situation where you had to empower a team member of yours, and how you were not able to personally, get involved because of whatever, you are in multiple roles. Because I'm very eager to hear if there's any such story that you have to share with us and the audiences, anywhere where you had to do this in any of your businesses.
So it's probably, a lot of people don't believe this, but every member in my company, I'm personally involved with them. I do not believe not to know who works with me. And that is, I think, the most important trait of a person who wants to lead with their people. Otherwise, you are just a CEO and then you have just a company that is working and you're growing. I do not believe in that. I always believe, I'll give you an example. In fact, actually, there are many examples. I have so many housewives who have come on an interview at my company, Infinity, and they've always said that we don't know where to start from. And I have always told them, the first step that you needed to take was come and sit across the table over here, that you want to do something. That is the first step you've already taken, which is the hardest step. And now the journey is that I will make sure that I empower you. And if you have the will to learn, I have the ability to train you. And there are numerous examples in my company, whether it's somebody, who lost their job, a housewife, or a lady who was on maternity leave and did not have work when she came back. In fact, an incident I will tell you. I found during COVID, there were a lot of newses and a lot of people on LinkedIn who were writing that, we lost our job. It's been months we haven't, got any job. I probably responded to over 200 people personally, just to find out what can I do for them in my company or in my peers, or if I could absorb them in my company, or if I could help them in any way. I just feel empowerment is not just about what is the growth or the benefit you're going to get in your business, but it's also about how you can help somebody that may not give any benefit to you. So it's not always about, the monetary part. It's also about the moral part as a human being, that what do you do? So, I've had, mothers who've come to me, oh, now my kid's grown up, they've gone to college, I don't know what to do. And I've never worked in my life. I have numerous people in my company like that, who today are shining stars, whether it's in HR or in IT or in accounts. So I just feel blessed that, my organization, from top to bottom, has the same vision, that is all about, how we can help each other, grow from each other, learn from each other, and exchange our thoughts. But again, competition always should be there, because it's always good for the growth.
Absolutely. And I think what you said is so true, that some of them don't even know their power till you empower them and you give them the chance. And then they say, oh my God, I'm capable of doing so many things, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, like, there are two sides to a coin, and are there any challenges to empower? Do you see any challenges?
Plenty. I have a laundry list of challenges that
I would love to hear one of those stories too, the reverse of the same.
So growth never comes without challenges. A roller coaster, the way it goes up, it comes down as well. And it can either be client related or employee related, or certain employees that are not getting along with each other, whereas they are very, very important equally to the organization. I think that is one of the biggest challenge in the people's business that I feel, is that you have two very important pieces, of divisions in your company, and you have two shining stars, which the company does not want to lose, but their personalities don't match. That in an organization, I feel, is the most tough to overcome. But again, this is where the maturity comes into play, where you counsel them, you coach them, you mentor them, in order to make sure that the objective is for all of us to grow together. And we are at work, we're not going back to our as families to our homes, and we're not going to eat together or go out and socialize together. But the idea is that at work, when we come, we leave our personal annoyances on the side, and when we walk into the door, we walk with a common objective, which is growing the company and growing yourself as a person. So I think managing a growing organization has plenty of challenges. and like I'll repeat the same thing, because five fingers are not alike, humans are not alike, and to deal with the certain personalities of different people is the most challenging part that I face in especially the industry that I am in. Of course, and there are plenty other challenges, of hiring, of ensuring that you have the right fit and the right talent in the organization. And if I talk about the real estate industry that I am in, not many women are there, so you face challenges of, oh my god, how are you going to talk the lingo of standing in front of 10 people, who are all of the opposite sex, and kind of match the kind of intellect that they are bringing on the table. But it's all about, you have to take it with a pinch of salt. You win some, you lose some. But I always believe there is never a loss, there's always learning. So that's, I feel, the challenge part, that you have to make sure that you're learning rather than getting demotivated that, you've lost, because you'll never be able to move on with the same kind of aggression that you had before.
Excellent, excellent. So, what would your advice be to other leaders, other entrepreneurs with regards to empowerment? What would you suggest? What would your approach to empowerment be? Advice?
So whether you're a startup or you're an established company, my advice would be that ensure that you walk along with your people. Ensure that you walk along with their vision as well. And oftentimes, it gets very diluted in larger organizations because they get so restricted to their own divisions. But the importance is that the growth has to come from the top of the chain. If the mindset of the organization will not be that, then, your peers or the people who are excited to join you will not feel that kind of passion, down the road. So my advice is always that, first thing is, rejection is nothing but redirection. That is the most important part. You have to remember that there will be more falls than the successes in life. But you just have to, keep moving on. But take the people with you who believed in you when you were a newbie in the industry, because that goes a long way.
Beautiful. I mean, always a joy to speak with you, Bhavna. And I love the last one. Rejection is nothing but redirection. Amazing. It just speaks about your never say die spirit and your positive mindset. So, as always, it's a pleasure, and I wish you and all of your ventures all success. And needless to say, I'm going to probably keep inviting you onto this group, as you're a popular member here. So, who knows?
My pleasure.
Thank you so much, Bhavna. And so, I'm hopeful that we might have. I'm thinking of panel discussions and stuff in the future. Let's see. It's still early days for L Forum, but thank you so much, Bhavna. I wish you all success in all your ventures, and we seek your encouragement and support at L Forum as always.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ringo. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe to the EL Forum channel.